Today, our topic is finding a missing term in a proportion. Let's define first what a proportion is. A proportion is a statement of equality between two ratios. If A is to B, it should be equal to C is to D. Each part of a proportion is a term. We have the first term, second term, third term, and the fourth term. The first and the last terms are called extremes, while the second and the third terms are called means. In a proportion, the product of the means is equal to the product of the extremes. Let's try an example using two methods. First is by using cross-product method, since the ratios are written in fraction form. In this method, we will simply cross-multiply. 2 times 20 is equals to 40. 5 times 8 is equals to 40. As we can see, the cross products are equal. Therefore, the ratios are proportion. Let's have the second method. It is written in column form. So we will simply multiply the extremes. 2 times 20 is equals to 40. And the means 5 times 8 is also 40. The product of the extremes is equal to the product of the means. Therefore, the ratios are proportion. Let's take another example. 2:4 is equals to 3:n. This time, in a given example, one term is missing. The problem can be solved either by using cross-multiplication or by multiplying the extremes and the means. Let us have first the method 1. Cross-multiplying, we have 2 times n equals to 2n, and 4 times 3 is equals to 12. In order to get the value of n, we will divide both sides by its numerical coefficient, which is 2. So 2n divided by 2 equals n. 12 divided by 2 equals 6. Therefore, n is equals to 6. Let's see if we will get the same answer if we use the method 2. Let's multiply the extremes and the means. 2 times n is equals to 2n. 4 times 3 equals to 12. Then, divide both sides by its numerical coefficient of 2. We get then 2n divided by 2 equals to n, and 12 divided by 2 equals to 6. So either way or method we use, we will get the same answer. But here's the easiest method for you. Step 1. Multiply the complete pairs, the extremes or the means. So in the given proportion, the means has its complete pair. So, we multiply them first. 4 times 3 is equals to 12. Then, step 2, divide the product by a term with the missing pair. 2 has the missing pair. So, we will divide 12 by 2. Then, 12 divided by 2 is equals to 6. So, the value of n is equals to 6. To check if our value for n is correct, let's substitute the value of n to the original equation. Then, let's cross-multiply. 2 times 6 equals 12. 4 times 3 is equals to 12. As we can see, the cross products are equal. Thus, our answer is correct. We can also check our answer using column form. Let's substitute the value of n to the equation. Then, multiply the extremes. 2 times 6 is equals to 12. And multiply the means. 4 times 3 is also 12. Since the product of the extremes and the product of the means are equal, then our answer is correct. Now, to continue, there are three types of proportion. These are direct proportion, inverse proportion, and partitive proportion. In a direct proportion, as one quantity increases, the other quantity increases at the same rate and vice versa. Likewise, as one quantity decreases, the other quantity also decreases. Salary, for instance, is directly proportional to how many hours you work. If you increase your number of hours of work, you can get an increase also in your salary. But if the number of works decreases, your salary decreases also. In an inverse proportion, one quantity increases as the other quantity decreases at the same rate and vice versa. Example: speed varies inversely with time of travel because the faster we go, the shorter the time of travel. Meaning, if there is an increase in the speed, the time of travel decreases. On the other hand, if there is a decrease in the speed, the time of travel increases. In a partitive proportion, a whole is divided into parts that are proportional to the given ratio. Example: 64 chocolates will be shared in the ratio 1:1:2. To understand fully the types of proportion, let us answer the following problems. Let us take sample problem 1. Ruby paid 50 pesos for 3 apples. How much would 12 apples cost? This problem suggests that an increase in number of apples will require an increased amount or cost to be paid. If we will increase the number of apples from 3 pieces to 12 pieces, the amount we will pay will also increase. And according to direct proportion, as one quantity increases, the other quantity increases. So this problem involves direct proportion. Now let us answer the problem. The first sentence says, Ruby paid 50 pesos for 3 apples. So we can write the ratio as 50:3. The next sentence, we can write or represent how much as or any letter in the alphabet. So we can write the ratio of the last sentence as n:12. Thus, we can write the proportion as 50:3 equals n:12. Let us multiply the extremes since it has the complete pair terms. So 50 times 12 is equals to 600. Then, we divide it by the given in the mean, which is 3. 600 divided by 3 equals 200. N now is equal to 200, which means 12 apples cost 200 pesos. We can see clearly in the data that there is an increase in the first quantity as well as the other quantity, thus proving that the problem is really a direct proportion. Let's proceed to the second problem. A sack of rice can be consumed by a family of 5 members for 30 days. How many members can consume the sack of rice in 6 days? The problem implies that a decrease in the number of days would mean an increase in the number of family members who will consume the sack of rice. This proportion is called inverse proportion. It is said that the proportion is inverse if one quantity increases as the other quantity decreases, or a decrease in one quantity may mean an increase in the other. Here is what the problem is asking us to find out. What is asked in the problem? We have there how many members. So basically, we are looking for the number of members who can consume the sack of rice in 6 days. What are the given facts? We have there 5 members for 30 days and 6 days. So, these are the given. 5 members, 30 days, and 6 days. After that, let us write the proportion. In writing the proportion, remember the given facts. Follow also this formula. Original given is to new given equals new given is to original given. Then, take note of two quantities being compared in the proportion. So we have there members as the first quantity and days as the second quantity. And then, decide where you will put each quantity. For instance, we put members on the left side while days on the right side. After that, substitute the given to the formula. Under the quantity members, we have 5 members as the original given, then n members as the new given. On the other side, we have 30 days as the original given and 6 days as the new given. Now that we have set up the proportion, let us cross multiply. 5 times 30 and n times 6, we have 150 equals 6n. Then, divide both sides by 6. 150 divided by 6 equals 25. 6n divided by 6 equals n. Thus, the value of n is 25. That is, it will take 25 members to consume a sack of rice in 6 days. Let us see if our answer makes sense. Looking at the table, we have the first quantity is about the number of members in the family, which implies that the number increases. On one hand, the other quantity, which is about the number of days, implies that there is a decrease. We can tell that the two quantities come in opposite directions. That means, as the members of the family increases, the number of days decreases, which really proves that the proportion is an inverse proportion. Now we go to the last problem. The ratio of boys to girls is 3:5. There are 40 children in the class. How many are girls? The problem cited in this example is a partitive proportion, since a whole is divided into parts that are proportional to the given ratio. And to solve, here's how. First, add the given ratio. The given ratio is 3:5. So, adding them, we have 3 plus 5 equals 8. Then, use the sum to divide 40 children. So, 40 divided by 8 equals to 5. Then, use the quotient as multiplier to the given ratios, meaning we will multiply 5 to the given ratio, which is 3:5. So, 3 times 5 equals 15, and 5 times 5 equals 25. Looking at the ratio 3:5, the first quantity pertains to the boys, and the second quantity pertains to the girls. And since the problem is asking us to find the number of girls, our answer should be n is equals to 25 girls. Now, remember, direct proportion. When one quantity increases, the other quantity increases. When one quantity decreases, the other quantity also decreases. Inverse proportion. When one quantity increases or decreases, the other quantity will have an opposite change. And lastly, partitive proportion. When a whole is divided into parts that are proportional to the given ratio. Thank you for watching.